Welcome back to Bills, Bets, and Beers. I'm your host, Chad. This can be a video about the Monday Night Football game. It's a quick update on it since I did one earlier in the week. And then I'm going to be going through my same game parlays I'll be putting in for it as well. Um, so if you're new to the channel, this is the channel where I talk about Bills football, NFL in general, go through my parlays. I usually try to do a Thursday, Monday, and Sunday night football games, as well as just the average Sunday games too. Then I do the occasional tasting and rating of a tasty brew. I try to pick some local IPAs in the area just to show them off, so maybe they can get some sales and stuff. And then maybe if you're out of state, you can get it through some websites and definitely try it out if you're a connoisseur. But yeah, let's get into this. First off, we're gonna be jumping into the injury report. So you got the Bill side. Obviously, the only one we're really worried about now is Jordan Poyer. He didn't participate Thursday and Friday, and he had that limited practice on today and Saturday. So it's definitely something to look for. He has it's a need designation that he's had for the past 3 or 4 weeks now, or even longer. Um, so it's definitely concerning. If he's not out there, we might get ate up in that middle. Boyd might actually eat, but I'm uh, I'm gonna stay positive, like I always try to do, and I'm gonna hope that he stays healthy and gets on that field. And even if he's playing like limited snaps or something, he's at least participating, so he can help out the squad and keep that communication back there going well. Hamlin's probably been doing a little bit better with him back there and helping him out, but he still is not Jordan Poyer. So he is going to be necessary to be back there to if we have just a better chance of winning this game. It was good to see that Milano, Knox, and Phillips, they all had a full practice today. That's very good for us. Knox especially, and then Milano and Phillips, that's gigantic because Milano's going to be the guy that's going to have a lot of coverage down there. And then Phillips, that just gives us an extra guy that we can have for our defensive front seven uh, swapping out because they love to keep everyone healthy, do a nice, good rotation, and to have Phillips in there is going to be good to have another rotation at nose tackle. So he's big for us. I mean, I'm glad to see him playing now. I think that's why they kind of let him sit out the last game so he can be ready for a bigger game like this. So he can be full practice. I mean, like more towards full 100%. Um, but yeah, let's get into the Bengals. They don't have as much going on either. Um, the only one that's a bit questionable now is the defensive end, Sam Hubbard. He has that calf injuries, and calf injuries, as you know, as Milano had them last year, they're very fickle. You're putting so much weight on it, and if it strains it and you pull any of those muscles, you're screwed back there. So he is limited participation Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and he's questionable. Um, I'm guessing he's going to play. I'm just going to keep that thought process. But um, all the other players, Lyle Collins, it looks like he actually didn't have a designation for today, but he wasn't questionable. But he didn't participate Thursday, Friday. It looks like I'm guessing he's going to play then. Then you have DJ Reader. He had a personal reason that he was out on Friday, and he was a full Saturday. So obviously, it wasn't anything that's going to affect him in the game. Hope everything's good. Nothing's wrong with his family or anything over there. But so that's going to be it's going to keep it very. That's something our line has to watch out for. Reader's a really good player, and especially if Hubbard's in there, they pair very well. So, but yeah, let's get into this game. With it being fully healthy squads on both sides, pretty much, it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be fireworks, I think. I got two 6-leg parlays, one through FanDuel and one through DraftKings. They're both pretty high odds, to be honest, but not too bad. realistic. They're all pretty realistic, and I kind of went a different route with each one to kind of hit all fronts. Obviously, there are things that you're gonna miss sometimes, like, oh, you should have put Jamar Chase for his yards, or I should have put Diggs for his yards, but I didn't want to touch too many things. I like to keep it simple enough where they can hit, and like I said, there's no risk. There's like very little risk, high rewards. I'm risking $1 out of that. I'm not like putting 15, $20 or even $100 down. So, but yeah, first one, we got this 6 leg same game parlay through FanDuel. It's James Cook anytime touchdown, Jamar Chase anytime touchdown. I think they're both gonna get a chance to get in that end zone. Jamar Chase is a beast. I think he's either gonna slip Dane Jackson, or I mean, who knows? I mean, White's been playing well, and he's only let up 1 touchdown since coming back. He hasn't really been targeted as much. I just see either Dane Jackson or maybe Elam making a mistake or something, and having him come down with the ball in the end zone or something like that, or at least like something where he catches a ball and makes jukes someone out, or plows him over and goes down for a touchdown for 20 more yards. Hate to say it, but that's the guy. That's how the guy runs, and he's a big playmaker for them. So it's gonna be one of those wide receivers getting in the end zone. We're not gonna hold them out. It's not gonna be a 20-0 game. It's gonna be pretty high scoring, and you have to be a little bit realistic there. Then I got Tyler Boyd going for 50 plus receiving yards. This is an alternate spread, an alternate pick. I picked 50 plus because I think we're gonna try their best to lock down the others. And I know we're going to have Tron Johnson because Boyd generally plays slot more on him, but I still see him getting his yards. I think that opening, especially if Jordan Poyer's not in there, Boyd's going to get his yards. And that's going to be a little troublesome. But I think we're going to try to do a similar approach that we did to Miami, and we're going to not open them to the run, but say, hey, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to beat us in the run. Mixon's a good running back, and he can definitely do that. But the bigger threat that they have, just like the Dolphins, is their wide receiver core. So, and it's a little bit different too. They're not both burners. Like, they don't have just straight burners on it. They have good, fast receivers, but a couple of them are just physical and good route running. So it's a little bit different than what we had against Miami, especially with the weather conditions. We had the ability to do that type of stuff. But anyways, let's get into this. Sorry about the ramble. I got Gabe Davis for 70 plus receiving yards. I think Gabe Davis is going to go off. I think they're going to have some trouble keeping everyone in front of them in a sense. I know they got good corners in there that they're like very young, but they're playing very well. I just see Gabe Davis taking advantage of it, especially like because you're gonna have Knox, Beasley, McKenzie, all in that slot tight end area, and they're going to be a distraction down there. And then even with Shakir and the quickness and stuff like that, they're going to be distractions. And I think Gabe Davis is going to get something over the top. He's probably going to get like a nice little 50-yard pass. Could be a touchdown or something, but something like that's going to happen during this game. Then you got Devin Singletary, 60-plus rushing yards, alt. I like to do all these alts because it gives a nice round number instead of like a 59.5, 48.5, things like that. Plus, the odds are a little bit boosted with that extra half a yard sometimes. Not much, but just by enough to help. I think he's going to get his yards on the ground. I know they are very good run defense, and people have said, oh, no luck, they're going to get this run game going. The Bills are going to have to get the run game going. They can't make us one-dimensional, and we've been running well as of late. So I'm not really too worried about on that aspect because Cooks and Singletary have been running well. It's weird that they don't have Cooks on. I saw Cooks on the touchdowns, but I didn't see him on the rushing aspect of the parlays. So I couldn't actually throw him in there. I'm guessing he'd be a little bit lower than Singletary and get a little bit better odds because they've been both going par with their yards as of late. So I'm looking forward to that. I think, like I said, I could see like Singletary going for 80 or 90, like at 70, so at least 70 to 80. So that's why I took the 60 margin. I don't want to go too far towards the 80 plus and make it really unrealistic. Then last one I got is Bills plus minus 1.5 point spread. They're going to cover that against the Bengals. It's going to be pretty. It's going to be a really close game, but that 1.5 spread is not going to matter. They're not going to lose. They're not going to win. They're not going to win by a point only. They're not going to win by 2. Like if they win, it's going to be by at least 3. We have to be very realistic here. So I don't see that point being a difference or that half point being a difference. So I might as well take the minus 1.5 instead of money line. I mean, I should have just took money line straight up. It would have been make more sense, but I just went with the spread. Then you have overall odds plus 35, 749, and turns like $1 into $349. Like I said, they're very low risk, high rewards, and all these are pretty realistic, I think. Let me know in the chat if you think they're not. I would definitely look forward to hearing any feedback from you guys. So next up, we've got my 6. Okay. Next up, sorry about just working this stuff, getting used to it. I've got my 6-leg DraftKings same game parlay. It's very similar to the other one, 2 anytimes, and then some rushing and receiving yards. But I'll break it down real quick. I got Isaiah McKenzie, anytime touchdown. I went this route because I think Isaiah or Knox is going to get in the end zone. And I just basically had to eeny, meeny, miny, moe this and pick Isaiah McKenzie. I think Shakir could get in the end zone too because he might not be someone that they're looking at because he's a quick body and he has gotten a touchdown on the year so far. Not as much production as of late, and I think it's Beasley. I didn't even see Beasley as an option. I'm not sure if we just moved him up from the practice squad for that one day because I don't think he's fully signed yet. Maybe that's why. But it'd be interesting. I think they might move Beasley up again to actually be on the active roster for this game. So be very interesting in that aspect. But I can see either if Beasley's in there, him or Shakir getting, because like I said, I think Shakir, they wouldn't actually give him, not they would ignore him, but they wouldn't be someone that they'd be focusing on in a sense. I almost took Quentin Morris. He had like, it was like plus 1,500, plus 1,500 or something for an anytime score, and he scored against the I think it was against the Dolphins recently. So it's like big game, and he scored on that. So I think someone like him too, like it's almost like a forgotten person where they're not a known body that he would throw too often. And I think Josh Allen throws it around so often and shares the ball that it's easy to get those random ones in there. So definitely something to think about if you're ever putting parlays in. Then I got T. Higgins, anytime touchdown. Like I said before, it's either going to be Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. One of them is going to get a touchdown. And honestly, I almost took their tight end, but that was a little bit out of what I wanted, what I was going towards on my approach. I think their tight end's very good, and he's been getting a lot of like receptions and a lot of focus on him earlier. And I think he's going to get a lot of passes this game as well, because we'll probably be focusing more on canceling out the receivers, and we do have good mobile linebackers, but they're gonna let people get a catch every once in a while. Milano's can only do so much. But yeah, let's keep going on this. I got Joe Mixon for over 54.5 rushing yards. So I didn't take the spread on this because I think it would have boosted it up towards like 56 or even like 60. I almost took the under on this, but realistically, I think Mixon's going to at least get around 50 to 60 yards rushing. Maybe towards that 65, 70 mark, but I don't think he's going to surpass anything more than that. Our run defense has been good, but I see it being kind of similar to how we, like I said earlier, how we approached the Dolphins game. You're going to want to have them beat you in the run game. That's what you're going to do. You're going to be focusing on the receivers, and you're going to say, hey, we're going to lock down your receivers enough. If you don't start running, we're not even going to try to focus on that anymore. So I see him at least getting that 54.5 just because of that. Because, I mean, you saw Mostert, he got like 80-plus yards on us, or over 100 yards on us today, which realistically, we were allowing him to get that, and our tackling wasn't great that day either. That's something we're going to have to improve a lot on this game. Then I got Devin Singletary, 50-plus yards rushing, alt. It's a nice. I took basically 10 yards off my other one to be a little bit safer on this bet. So I think he's, like I said, he's at least going to get towards that 50 mark. That 60, 70 is very. He could get it. When you get towards that 70, 80, 90, with this good run defense, you can't. It can happen. I'm not saying it can, but that's more of a hot. That's getting more towards the hot take categories, where you say, hey, he's going to get 100 yards, or he's going to get 85 yards. You know what I mean? Let's get towards that aspect. The last couple ones, I got Dawson Knox, 55-plus yards, receiving alt as well. So he's going to be getting those targets. And like I said, it's going to be between him, McKenzie, Shakir, Morris, anyone in that area, because we're going to be spreading that ball around, so it's not going to be obvious who we're going to be going to. And I'm hoping that Stephon Diggs gets a lot of targets too. But we've been able to make people do better on third and longs and do better on third downs with having these passes to people that most teams aren't going to focus everything on. Stephon Diggs can take the brunt of that focus, and he can make catches too. But with having people in the slot and the tight end areas to actually get opened up just because of that just makes it easier for Allen. Why force it into that coverage if you don't have to? He's got burned from that multiple times this year. So I think that's why he's been going towards more of the smaller guys on the roster, in a sense, where they're just not known to get as many targets. Then the last one, I got over 49.5 total points. I thought that was actually pretty low for this game. I think it's not going to be very defensive. Obviously, they have a good run defense, and they've been playing good defense in general as of late. But our offenses are so good that I think that's just going to cancel that out and give it I think each offense is going to have a bonus, or at least an advantage against the defenses. So I think this is going to be pretty high scoring. I think my total on this prediction, I see it being like 27-32 or like 32-35 type of game. With the Bills winning, of course, but it's going to be something along those lines where we're both up towards or in 30-point range. And that's going to blow that 49.5 out the water. Total odds on that are 25,000, and it's going to be $1 equaling $250. Quick, easy math. And like I said, low risk, high reward. Best way to bet. So that's going to be it for my same game parlays. Something I would definitely like to bring up to you guys. And an interesting thing I found out from one of my coworkers recently. DK squares. That's DraftKings squares. If you go to any game, you're looking at the parlays, right? And you're saying, oh, any touchdowns, passing, rushing, receiving. Just keep going. Just keep scrolling on the top. You'll see DK squares. If you've ever done, I know if you've ever worked in a workplace, any office or anything like that, even have friends, gone to had a bowling league, had anything like that, you had those squares that you pay for the Super Bowl. You go, oh, 7-4, I want that square. Like $10, whatever, put anything down on it. So they have this in DraftKings where on any game you can pick, they basically have tons of these picks, like 4-3, 2-2, 1-1, 0-7, 7-7, 3-3, 4-4, like a whole row of each team having different numbers against the other team having different numbers. And you could just pick any one. You could pick 3-3. That's pretty easy one to grab. Or like a 7-7 or a 7-0. Those are all ones that will most likely hit during the game. Obviously, those odds are going to be a little bit lower, like a plus 400, plus 500 range. But once you start getting weird ones, like I picked 2-5. So Bengals 2, Bills 5. That would be, like I said, I think we can get like a 35-22, like a 35-32 type of game going on, or even say like if we can get them at a 12 to 15, which is very unrealistic. But even like that, even like a 25-12, or like 22 to 35, or 25 to 22, because there's all these weird numbers that come in. So I just took that. I put a buck on it, and it could get me like $50. Things like that, where it's like plus 5,000 odds for those numbers. So definitely check it out. Obviously the weirder ones like 8-8 aren't going to show up as often, or like 9-8, all these things like that. But they can show up because people miss field extra points. People go for 2-point conversions. Crap happens. So definitely check it out. Something interesting. If you're not like looking to like, hey, I don't know football good enough, you can go on to any game. Like if you like your have a team you like, go onto the DK Square, say, hey, I'm gonna do this. Um, I don't know much about the players. I don't know like how many yards I think they're gonna get. I don't want to risk too much, but hey, I'm gonna go and put 6 $1 bets down, crossed all these little point options, and hey, if I hit one or two of them, even one of them, you're gonna get like 20-30 bucks back, and then you just made $24. It's not a lot, but that's just something if you want to like ease your way into, hey, I think it's fun, maybe make the game more interesting, something else to look towards, and say, hey, I need them to score a field goal, or I need them to get a touchdown here. Things like that makes it very interesting and fun, at least to me. But yeah, go check it out. Definitely worth it. Okay, let's get into these hot takes. I got just two hot takes. I got Singletary and Cook. They will combined rush for over 150 plus total yards. That is a lot against a defense that has been very good against the run. But just growing off that last game where they had the run and they made the run, yes, it wasn't a good defense. It was the Bears. But I just think it's just going in the right direction, and they have been as of late. And I could see both of them getting around 70 something yards. So that would put them in that 150 range, or even like an 80 to 60. That'd be very close to getting into that 150 range. So we're gonna be around that. It'd be nice to get over it. I'm not counting Allen in these rushing things because he's probably gonna get 50 yards and easily boost that up. But I see between those two getting around 150 plus. Then I got the Bills defense getting 2 interceptions against Burrow, and I think one of them is gonna be picked. One of them is gonna be Trey White picking him off. I think he's gonna be probably paired off against, I don't know, maybe Jamar Chase is very physical, but if he can jump a route, he's probably gonna jump a route like he's done in the past, and it's gonna be nice to see Trey White coming back and doing that crap. That's it for my hot takes. Not much, like I said, very short, at least for that aspect. Then I got some upcoming videos. I'm going to be doing Bills versus Bengals post-game recap. I'll be doing that on most likely Tuesday. I'll probably take some notes during the game if I remember. I usually try to just wait till after the game to see the box scores and all that stuff, and obviously remember other stuff that happened throughout the game, like key penalties, plays, and things like that. Then Bills versus Pats preview and prediction. That's so close to each other. You got it's gonna be pretty much back to back. I'll probably drop that on Tuesday or Wednesday night. Then I'll be doing a Thursday night preview and same game parlay. I'll probably drop that Wednesday as well. And then I'm gonna do a video on how to boost DraftKings same game parlays. I've been doing it as of late. I have to test it out on FanDuel. I don't think it works the same, but it's be very interesting. I think it would definitely benefit people, especially like I said, if you want to do low risk, high rewards, it's the best way to do it. If you are interested in what I'm talking about, check out my last video. It's about that was Sunday, the Week 17 Sunday game parlays. I turned a 6-leg parlay because I went across 3 games with two picks per game. So it's like basically 3 same game parlays in one big same game parlay, and it boost it boosted those odds to like 50, 60,000. So definitely check it out. And there's only 6 picks. That's craziness. Um, but yeah. Um, then last little segment here. I gotta obviously shout out my sponsors. Um, check out my wife's Instagram page. It's Crochet with Elisha. That's Crochet WITHELISHA. That's her business page. She does hats, mittens, gloves, cardigans, jackets, anything you could think of for the winter. She can make it like scarves and stuff like that too. So definitely check her out. Um, it's she does anything from like infants all the way up to full grown adults, any size. Um, obviously for adults, she would actually probably need some measurements or like the size you generally wear, so she knows exactly how many stitching and get a pattern and get it properly set up so she can make it for you. And also to know how much yarn to get as well. So check her out. Shoot her a DM if you see anything you like. She also does beer koozies, bikini tops, bottoms, and it's not like when she does like clothing and stuff like that, and like cardigans, she picks yarns that aren't like scruffy and tough. They're like nice, soft, good textured yarn and good quality. So even if you wash it, it's not gonna damage it. So definitely check her out and shoot her a DM if you want anything. She'll reply pretty quickly. And then I got my buddy, Evan. He has his own channel. He has a channel to right below me right there. Um, Mr. Nasty Time. So it's, as you can tell, MR_NASTYTYYME. He's been doing a lot of gaming on there since he switched from Twitch. He streams Warzone 2.0 all the time. Forgot what game he was playing earlier, but he also does some Madden franchise, does some PGA, like 2K PGA stuff, and pretty much a whole slew of genres he plays. He loves everything. So he'll just jump on and stream what he's playing. He does some walkthroughs of certain games that he likes and things like that, and definitely keeps the content interesting. The chat on there is always going off, and it's definitely wild. So it might be a little. Some sensitive people might not like it too much with the topics that come up, but I don't know. It's always a blast listening to it and playing with him. So definitely check it out. But he also does NFL weekly rankings, and he does breaks down some UFC fights and stuff like that, and UFC cards because he's been doing that for like 15 years, fighting and watching. So, and he's been watching football and playing football for a long time. He played football throughout high school, and me and him have been watching it for pretty much our whole lives. So we always have some good content going on, at least with football or something else going on. So check it out. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Go Bills, and I hope everyone has a happy New Year. Peace out.